Hi, it's Alaska Granny. I went to Walmart yesterday and I made some surprising discoveries. Some good, some not so good, but I thought I would share with you what I found when I went to Walmart. I'm always on the lookout for new foods, backup foods, variety to add to my food storage. Also, the things that have been missing for months, I'm always on the lookout to see if I can add those to my stockpile. And I was very surprised to see that I could find two items that I haven't seen for months. Hickory Spam. I haven't seen any of the flavors of Spam, and I was delighted to find hickory smoke. When I brought it home, family members were like, "Let's open it." I said, "Don't even touch it. This is going in the stockpile for a special occasion." A lot of the meat shelves were empty, but I found pulled pork in a can. I tried some of this months ago, did a review on it, and said it was actually pretty tasty, and then never saw it again. So when I saw pulled pork in a can, you can bet I grabbed a few. Rice and beans have been getting in shorter and shorter supply. You can see from the looks of the shelf, not only is it nearly empty, but it's just a small area of the shelf where it used to take up nearly an aisle. I was able to get 3 8-pound bags of pinto beans and a 20-pound bag of rice. I bought 20 pounds of rice for $11, 24 pounds of beans for $22.44. So I spent a total of $33 for all of this rice and beans, which equals 63,000 calories. If you had only rice and beans and you needed to live on, say, 2,000 calories a day, here is 31 days full of filling food. If you used beans and rice as half of your calories and had 1,000 calories per day filled in with other canned and packaged, fresh and frozen foods, then you would have 62 days worth of food right here in this pile. So that's $1 a day for your complete food. If you had 2,000 calories of rice and beans, and 50 cents a day if you had 1,000 calories of rice and beans. That's what the prices are here in Alaska. They may vary where you are, but it's still cheap to get a huge amount of food that can feed your family for a long period of time. You can always buy beans and rice in 1 or 2 pound bags, store them away $1 at a time. I don't have any buckets right now to store the beans and rice. They did have buckets at Walmart and I thought about buying some, but when I checked out the lids don't have the rubber gasket, and so it's not going to be a long-term solution to storing my food. I thought about getting them as a stopgap. I decided to go ahead and wait and see if I could find what I actually wanted somewhere else. You can always buy the food now, store it the best way you can, and repackage it later when you can find the supplies that you want. I realized after I bought my bag of rice, once I was bringing it in the house, it had a little hole in the bag and was leaving a little trail. So check your bags over, make sure you tape them up if you find a leak so that you don't lose your bountiful food before you're ready to use it. I like to stock up on the Betty Crocker muffin mixes. You only need to add water and they're really yummy. They have usually blueberry and a mixed berry. They didn't have any of the mixed berry. I haven't seen them in a long time and I was only able to get 6 of the blueberry muffins. That was all of the Betty Crocker muffin mixes that they had. When you're choosing something like a muffin mix, look on the back for what you have to add to that, because all of the other varieties you have to add things like milk and eggs. You may not always have milk and eggs to be able to use your food, so try to make sure that you have everything you need so that you can prepare the mixes and the packaged foods that you store. They had a lot of macaroni and cheese. These are simple to buy and store. They last a long time. I like to repackage them into a Ziploc bag and store them together in a clean canning jar. Put on the lid and it's sealed up great, takes up less space, and it'll last for several years. The thing to know about packages of things like macaroni and cheese, the macaroni isn't going to get spoiled, but the cheese packets might. So pay attention to the dates, try to use them. I've had them last a few years past the sell by, best by, use by date, but don't always count on it lasting longer. You need to buy foods that you're actually willing to eat and then use them and rotate them and replace them. So if you're going to buy foods like macaroni and cheese, make sure that you're rotating them within a few years, buy more, and then you will continue to have a fresh supply that you know will be good to eat going forward. I found a new package of the Knorr Noodles, the pasta sides, that's a creamy pesto. I've never seen it before, and I'm hoping that it's going to be tasty. We like pasta around here, and we like pesto. So I was able to pick these up where a lot of the other flavors are just not available anymore. I was able to get 5 of the Knorr pasta sides, and I'm going to put these away in an airtight container so that they'll last for several years. The Knorr sides require milk, so make sure you have that in powdered or shelf-stable form to go with the foods that you choose to store. I don't buy a lot of Hamburger Helper, but it's an option that you can put in your long-term food storage, and I was able to find some that were the Walmart brand. It's only $1.25. I can pour it into a jar, which is an airtight container, and store it away for several years. If you are going to buy something like Hamburger Helper, make sure that you have the ingredients in your stockpile, your supply, so that you'll be able to use this food. Don't buy foods if you don't have the accompaniments that go with it that allow you to make it. I like the mini raviolis, and I was able to get 4 packs. I like to combine the ravioli with the vegetable soup, which I also was able to get. I found the vegetable soups by Progresso, garden vegetable and vegetarian vegetable. I prefer the vegetable soup or the minestrone that's by Campbell's, but they didn't have any of it, so it was a good time to stock up on the foods that I could get. The Campbell's chunky soups that I was able to get that I actually like are the pub-style chicken pot pie sirloin burger with country vegetables. I make a package of the Idahoan potatoes and serve this over the top, and it gives a hearty meal that's quick and easy and inexpensive. I added to my stockpile of spices. These are only like 99 cents. They're actually about the same price as buying the giant containers, and the reason I like to buy them in smaller containers is number one, they fit easier in my kitchen, and they also stay fresher longer. Once you open your spices, the contact with the air starts to degrade them. Yes, they're going to last longer, but they aren't going to be as fresh and as vibrantly flavored. But you can still use them, just add more until you get more of the flavor. And if you have something like parsley, crush it up a little bit, crush the leaves so that you're releasing the oils and help it be more flavorful in your recipes. I was able to get some chicken bouillon powders. I bought the Weiler's before, and it's okay. It does have some ingredients that I wish it didn't have. So I was excited to see this Orrington. It's more natural, and it was about the same price. So I have now a bountiful supply of bouillon powder that I can add into soups and other recipes to add fuller flavors to rice, beans, and all kinds of food. I bought a bag of flour and a bag of sugar. Flour wasn't available for many months during this pandemic and the food shortages we had in the spring. Holidays are coming, baking season is here. It's good to have a fresh supply for any new baking. Look at these great finds. Augason Farms. They still had the same little shelf, but it had a lot more variety on it, and the things just were not very expensive. I was able to get some corn, some vegetable stew, some peas, blueberries, and potato shreds. These are more like hash browns, where I have lots and lots of mashed potatoes, but shredded potatoes are something I don't have a lot of, and they'll be nice to make hash browns or add them into recipes, soups, all kinds of things to use. That's a different format of potatoes than just powdered mash. The Augason Farms food have lots of servings. They're freeze-dried. They are packaged so that you can put them away and store them for up to 25 years. It's a great way to have vegetables long-term, things like potatoes long-term, and fruits long-term. Fruits and vegetables from your garden don't last very long, and when you can them or buy them in cans, they're still only going to last for several years. So buying freeze-dried foods that you know you enjoy eating in a long-term food storage format is a great way to ensure that you have the foods that you need. The potatoes were $8.52. The corn was $15.44. The stew mix was $13.98. The berries were $28.92. And the peas were $17.42. I was able to get the Bleach Tablets. These have not been available at all, and suddenly there they were. They also had bottles of bleach, but bleach actually will evaporate, and the part of it that's bleach isn't going to be there. It doesn't have a very long shelf life, and it takes up a lot of space. These have tablets in them, and you can drop one tablet and make bleach water. There's 32 tablets in each of these containers, so you can make a lot of bleach with just these 2 containers. If you do decide to find bleach tablets, make sure that you get the ones that are in the blue container because they're unscented. If you're going to use these for purification, you want to make sure you're not adding any scent or aromas. These are going to be great for cleaning and sanitizing, and in an emergency situation, if I had no other way to purify water, then I would use these. They're not designed for purifying water for drinking, but it's still bleach, and so it's going to be better than drinking contaminated water. But it shouldn't be the first choice that you make for water purification. This was the most exciting find at Walmart. Canning jars. They had dozens of them. They had the quart size, but they only had the regular size mouth. I prefer the wide mouth, but they don't have them, and I'm not going to turn these down when they're available. I'm sorry to hear people saying they are not available anywhere else, because right now they have them here in Alaska in the Walmart. I paid $12.17 for a dozen canning jars. You can't even find them at the thrift stores for that, if you can find them at all. The last time I found one at a thrift store in Alaska, they wanted no, that's not yours. The last time I found a canning jar at a thrift store in Alaska, they wanted $2.50 for a used jar. Why would I spend that? It's like they don't really know what things cost when they're marking them at the thrift store. What things could I not find at Walmart? I could not find the Classico pasta sauces that I like. They didn't have any of them. They had other brands, but nothing that I'm interested in. They also did not have any of the Nido Fortificata, which is a whole powdered milk, which is really very tasty, easy to use, and versatile. And the varieties of soup was really sad. I'm glad I stocked up on different varieties of soups when I had the opportunity. Soup is easy to put into your pantry, and it makes a simple filling meal, especially if you add it with things like rice, mashed potatoes, pasta noodles. You can make a full, more like a casserole or a full plated meal when you add some other ingredients into a can of soup. Foods are still available here in Alaska at Walmart, but they're getting fewer choices, less of a supply. They're talking about surges in the coronavirus. They're talking about unrest with this upcoming election. And I don't want to be caught short if we end up in some kind of a long-range problem where we can't get to the grocery store or food becomes too expensive to stockpile. All of the foods that you stockpile should be foods that you're willing to eat. Rotate through your pantry foods that you can make quick and easy meals, keep your family fed, and know that you have enough no matter what the future brings. If you enjoyed my video, I hope you'll share it with someone else you think might like it. Learn more at alaskagranny.com, and please subscribe to the Alaska Granny channel.